Now, UKIP is to announce shortly the result of its latest leadership contest. 3 candidates are competing for the job: former Deputy Chairman Suzanne Evans, party activist John Rhys-Evans and former Deputy Leader Paul Nuttall. Nigel Farage has been interim leader since his successor Diane James stepped down after less than 3 weeks in the job. Well, let's get the very latest now from our assistant political editor Norman Smith in central London, where the winner will be announced. There have been so many twists and turns, haven't there, Norman? But this is finally it. We're not far from hearing who the new leader will be.
No, we'll get the new leader, I think, the next half an hour or so announced up there, and it's a huge moment for UKIP because on it could hinge whether the party thrives or dies. There have been plenty of warnings by figures involved in this contest that the party is on a cliff edge. It could be on the cusp of a death spiral, and the contest itself has been pretty much the leadership contest from hell. There have been resignations, there have been allegations of fistfights, there have been walkouts, you name it. So what does the new leader need to do? Well, I'm joined by UKIP's one MP, Douglas Carswell. What is the challenge facing whoever wins today?
First of all is to bring a sense of unity and then to focus on our long-term future, and that is undoubtedly to take votes off the traditional Labour left, where out-of-touch leftist elite has now lost all sense of understanding its traditional base. We see this throughout the Western world. UKIP can be the party that offers traditional Labour voters a credible alternative. The Labour elite don't even understand the aspirations of ordinary people in this country. UKIP can be the party that cleans up.
What do you say to those who say, actually, it's UKIP that's facing an existential problem because you have achieved your central mission of Brexit?
Well, we haven't actually achieved it yet, and I think it's really important that in the event of a Supreme Court decision that precipitates a snap election early next year, UKIP is there to ensure that Brexit actually happens. But that aside, dealing with the oligarchy that is Brussels is only one oligarchy that we need to free this country from. There are all sorts of other areas of public policy where small elites who despise the aspirations and ambitions of ordinary people, who have no grounding in the roots in the constituencies that they purport to represent, our job is to displace them. I think there's a huge opportunity. I've never felt this gung-ho since the Rochester by-election.
What about Nigel Farage? How critical is it for the new leader to shake off the shadow of Farage?
Credit where it's due. Nigel's been an incredibly influential figure. Okay, he's stood for election several times and not got into the House of Commons, but boy, has he achieved some great results. Credit to him, but I think we need a slightly different approach. In Clacton at the last general election, we tried to bring people together. We tried a slightly softer tone, but an equally robust message. That's the way to do it.
Isn't there a danger, though, that whoever is chosen as leader, Nigel Farage will continue to dominate the headlines, as he's shown an ability to do in recent weeks, and will in effect become a backseat driver?
Well, he may well get a gig at Fox News in America. He's got a gig as a shock jock in London. But, it'll be for the new leader to actually decide the direction and to lead. And I'm looking forward to playing my part and being fully supportive.
This has been a contest where the divisions, the tensions, the personal rivalries have been exposed. Is it actually going to be possible to unite a party where there seem to be such bitter personal animosities?
We need to make sure the rest of the party is as united as the parliamentary party, which is solidly united. We're going to have to bring people on board. There are lots of very talented people. 3 very good candidates stood for this leadership contest. Whichever 2 don't win, I want to see as part of the team. We've got some very talented people that we can draw on. We need to make sure that we are a little bit more collegiate than we've been in the past.
And you seem to be suggesting the party needs to take a very different approach. Instead of looking for votes from disillusioned Conservatives, you're quite clear you want to replace Labour?
Let's be clear, we've maxed out the market for Thatcherite ultras. And if we really want to go after that market, we're going to be fighting over a shrinking pool of voters. There is a huge opportunity. Dan Jarvis, a man I have tremendous respect for today, talked about the possibility of the UKIP fox in the Labour coup. That is where our opportunity lies. Vast swathes of the Labour Parliamentary Party regard the views of ordinary people in this country with contempt and with arrogance. The left is in disarray. It believes that virtue signalling about Fidel Castro is the way to do politics. We need to go in there and we need to make sure that those communities are represented by a patriotic, credible, non-nativist alternative, and I think we can do that.
Douglas Carswell, thanks very much, Joanna. It's worth just saying it's not just UKIP people who are going to be watching this result closely, but yes, it will be the main parties too, Labour and the Conservatives, because on this result may depend their electoral fortunes in terms of where UKIP now seeks to draw its support.
Thank you very much, Norman.